Hey yo, what is up? This is the Kanonen Flamethrower on the Russian test server. This tank is being tested on the Russian side server for the last few days, of course, based on the Kanonen Yak Panzer, and it is going to be a tank with exclusive flame throwing gun. It does not have a firing gun. It is based on this game mode, the whatever this game mode was called. I think it was called the Art of War or something like that, and they had the Art of Strategy. They had this flame throwing game mechanic turret, and they use that same mechanic now on a proper tank. And these are the stats on the Kanonen Jagdpanzer. It is a test-made tank, so it is not confirmed yet, but they are exploring how this would work on a tank that is going to basically rush out and shoot people. It has an auto-loader, a 3-shot auto-loader, so it's going to have an reload time of around 19 seconds. The minimum stun duration, it says here, 11.88 seconds, and a maximum stun time of 12 seconds. I am assuming this is the crew stun that they are mentioning about, and after firing your first shot, your intra clip is 4 seconds, so you have to wait 4 seconds before you can fire your second shot, and then another 4 seconds for your third shot, and then reload in 19 seconds. The current aim time is 2.88 seconds, and the effectiveness of the flamethrower is 150 meters. Now this is for a tier 8 flame throwing tank, the Jagdpanzer, Kanonen Jagdpanzer, but for other tanks we don't know how this mechanic is going to work in the future, but at the moment for this tank it's going to be the effectiveness is going to be in the 150 meter range. 2.88 seconds aim time. Elevation or the gun depression is 5 degrees, just like a normal tank. The horizontal aiming angles is the because this is a turreted, a non-turreted tank, right? So it's 30 degrees left, 30 degrees right, just like a regular tank destroyer. Again, the dispersion 2.4 seconds, and dispersion, there's no penalty for moving dispersions, if I'm not mistaken, because it only says 2.40 dispersion. The moving dispersion, it says 0.04, which is negligible, so I think there is no kind of penalty for moving or for rotating your hull when you are firing when you're discharging your flame throwing mechanic. So I suppose when you, even if you shoot on the move, there's not going to be, you're not going to miss your shot a lot, because this thing has, like, you know, you're not going to miss very easily. You're not hitting a small target. It's going to be flames, so it's not going to be a big problem trying to hit your target from 150 meters away. Apparently it has 1,400 shells, so you're never going to run out of shells. The only shell type is HE, and the velocity is 50 meters per second. This is what I think it's going to be. I'm not exactly sure whether the translation from Russian to English is going to be the same. The penetration is 85 millimeters. Now, according to the according to what it says here, it's the amount of damage it does depends on what kind of tank it goes against. That means the thickness of the armor. Obviously, the thicker the armor, the less damage it's going to do. The thinner the armor, for example, side armor and rear armor, it's going to do more damage. So that's how it's going to work. But apparently, if you have 85 millimeters of armor thickness, it's going to go through it pretty easily and burn you to a potato chip, is what I expect. There is no radius damage on the fire mechanic, so it doesn't work like a HE where you can explode or you can shoot to the, you can miss the entire tank and still do damage. You know, you can be within the vicinity of hitting your target and still do damage. It's not going to work that way. because there is no radius. The radius, it says 0.01 meters, which means basically you have to hit your target directly in order to do any kind of damage. But this is an auto-loading mechanic, so you're gonna get 3 opportunities with 4-second intra clip to wither down your enemy. As you can see here, when it's trying to attack the Emil one, if you can't kill it within 3 shots, the Emil one could easily kill you off, I suppose, with 3 shots. So you need to think about how that's going to work. Also, you need to keep in mind that the Flamethrower also does crew damage, so it does stun damage to your crew, and if it does it over a period of 3 shots, it's going to be significant amount of damage to the crew that is receiving this damage. Imagine if you applied your first aid kit the first time you caught fire and you got crew stunned, and then this guy shoots you again and you get crew damage. You're gonna have to wait a long time for your crews to recover the first aid kit, right? Is it 90 seconds before you can deploy your first aid kit again? So I don't know how that first aid mechanic is going to work if you got burned by one of these tanks, which has 3 opportunities to do so. You repair, you use the first aid kit the first time. What about the second time you get burned? Does that mean you're going to have to endure 1.5 minutes of crew being stunned, knocked out, before you can apply your med kit again? So this is going to be interesting. We're going to find out exactly how this is going to work in the near future. Now, there is another caveat here. It says that this is only exclusive to the Russian server, the Leicester server, and it is not going to be across the board on Asian server, European server, or NA server. So for the time being, it is only being tested on the Russian server, the Leicester server. But you know how it is with wargaming. There have been tanks that have been region locked or region exclusive, but somehow ended up spreading to the rest of the world as well. So you've got to take this news with a little bit of salt. At the moment, they say it's only exclusive to Leicester server or Russian server, but you cannot completely take their word for it. If this is a popular mechanic, if the Russian players like this, if they happen to sell a lot of these Kanonen Panzers with the Flamethrowers, and it's going to be a popular mechanic and it's going to be fun, they're definitely going to roll this out with the rest of the world. So this is all the news I have for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see what happens with the Kanonen Flamethrower. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.